Right now, the Dow is like 1.5% from the all-time highs. S&P is like down 1.4%. Is that something that you think is worthy at this point? Or should we be at these levels?
Well, in one way, we're near an all-time high, and we're up, quite a bit so far this year. But if you look back, we're about where we were, a little bit above in January of 2018.
So we've been treading water?
We've been kind of in a trading range now for 20 months or so. Market's selling at 17 times forward earnings. Earnings are growing at kind of low single digit, probably for this year and probably for next year as well. So that's not a terrible market backdrop. We can still work our way higher. But with that level of valuation, it's hard to believe we're going to get a huge amount of return from these levels.
Although, Ellen, yesterday we did see stocks move higher when the president said that it looks like a trade deal with China could come sooner than a lot of people are expecting. What would that mean if that happens?
Clearly, one of the biggest concerns in the market right now, Becky, is the trade war and the uncertainty that has come with it. And you've seen evidence for that everywhere. You've seen the PMIs, both in the U.S. and globally. You've seen lack of capital investment by companies. And so in my mind, in our mind, there's no question that if the trade war were to be actually resolved, not just a paper deal that might cover a few things, but something that would substantially reduce the uncertainty, then you could see the industrial sector in particular do much better.
And I guess, Ed, the question is, with all this impeachment talk, what does that mean for any of these talks? Does it put the president in a mode where he would rather settle, come up with something? Is that going to be a settlement, like Ellen just mentioned, that's substantial?
Well, as of today, with the futures movement, we're basically back to where we were before the impeachment story broke. Mm-hmm. So from the market's point of view, it seems unlikely we're going to get a change in the presidency between now and the next election.
That to me is not even the most interesting market story. I mean, what interests me is, can you see the new NAFTA deal, anything get done on that at this point? Can you see a trade deal with China? We saw the trade deal or sort of deal that was announced with Japan yesterday. What are we going to see?
It's hard to predict,
yeah.
But it's hard to imagine you're going to get tremendous amount of progress in moving things through Congress, given the overall political backdrop. So those things would all be positive. If we could come up with a great comprehensive deal with China, that would be terrific. But I think the way to think about U.S. and China is we're long-term rivals. We're going to be talking about this story for years and years and years to come. So it's very unlikely you're going to get a deal that is so comprehensive that there's no need to revisit it next year or the year after that, or the year after that. So it would be terrific from the market's perspective if we could get a deal that really was substantive, addressed all the underlying issues. I'm not really all that hopeful.